Yeah, Miss Bernardo is actually a good teacher. She doesn't have any rule infractions at all. Proper attire, although she doesn't wear socks under her shoes, but that's up for debate. And she's actually a good trauma class teacher, and she's beautiful as well. So yeah, no rule infractions whatsoever, and well, she actually does a good job at teaching. So Miss Bernardo has a well-deserving A+. Alright, let's get Coach Niblick out of the way. As far as male teachers go, Coach Niblick is the best of all the male teachers in the Loud House. He is the golf teacher at Fairway University, and he actually does a pretty good job at his teaching job. He has no rules to break. He's excellent at his teaching job. He knows how to teach students about golf pretty well, and well, he's taught Lori pretty well. Well, aside from when Lori was starting out, but no one's perfect when they start out, and he seems to be a fit to be a golf teacher. I can only assume that he was a world golfing champion once, but then he retired and decided to become a golf teacher. So yeah, he does know a lot of strategies about golf, and he doesn't break any rules for golf teachers. He's actually great at his job. So yeah. Coach Niblick is definitely passable. And, well, he gets a score that's above an A+. Principal Ramirez is the principal of the Royal Woods Middle School. Well, since we mentioned Principal Wilbur Huggins, we might as well mention the other principal as well. Contrary to popular belief, she's actually better at her job than Wilbur is. But she's still not perfect though. There are some rule infractions to go by with principals. Firstly, she doesn't actually supervise the kids a lot, which, as a principal, you're supposed to do. Because, well, principals are supposed to make sure school kids are acting their best, and, well, she sent poor Lincoln to Canada, and, well, she didn't count Lincoln as being part of Mrs. Salter's class, which the flippy stain should count as a check mark. It should, yeah, it's a flippy stain, but it should still count. Because, well, in schools, if you sign up for a class, it would still technically count as a check mark. Even if it is a stain of your favorite slushie. So yeah, that's some rule infractions to go by. But still, she hasn't breaking as many rules as the next teacher who we're about to mention. So, Principal Ramirez gets a B-. She's still not great, but she does look pretty though. She still needs to improve her teaching job like Principal Skinner's. Or Principal Skinner. I can't remember the principal's name in The Simpsons. I think it's Principal Skinner. She's still not a great principal like Principal Skinner. She still needs to to learn. I'm not ready for this. I really am not. Because I'm about to talk about the most infamous teacher character in the Loud House. Yes, we're talking about Mr. Bolhofner. We finally went to this point, and now we can't go back. Alright, so we're gonna go over his rule infractions for school staff one by one and see which rules he's broken. Firstly, Mr. Bolhofner has poor hygiene. And of course, in schools, you're supposed to have good hygiene before you go. Well, when I was in school, I would usually bathe a 3 times per week. I would bathe Sunday before I went to the day before I went to school, Tuesday, and Thursday. The day before I went to school. But it's clear that Mr. Bolhofner hasn't he probably hasn't bathed for a year or 2. Or even 5 weeks, which is way too long. And he hasn't even brushed his teeth either, which is a no-no. You have to brush your teeth before you go to school. It doesn't matter what you think. You have to brush your teeth before you go to school. That's just proper hygiene. And of course, he hasn't even changed his clothes at all. He always goes around wearing the same shirt, which is a problem. And he probably smells like horse manure. So yeah, Mr. Bolhofner has already broken one rule, and we haven't even gotten started yet. Jeez. This is not the only rule infraction that he has. This is just the icing on the cake, man. The second rule infraction that he has is anger issues. Yes, anger issues. Mr. Bolhofner has anger issues. And it's all part of attitude problems. You see, in one episode, Colonel of Truth, when Stella asked about his age, when she commented about his age and how she thinks that he might be old, in his 50s or 60s because of the gray hair. He got angry and said he was in his mid-40s, or 45, I can't remember. Which is definitely an anger problem, and that's not accepted in any school system. Even every teacher that I know of tries their best to be chill, even when they're having problems. You see, Mr. Bolhofner has broken another rule, in that he's angry. He has attitude issues. And of course, that's not all. Because, number 3, just like Mr. Crocker, he sometimes gives kids F's for no reason at all, which is another rule infraction. You're supposed to judge kids by their grades, depending on how well they did, not by giving them F's for no reason. But that's a small problem compared to the next issue. Yeah, he doesn't supervise his kids at all, which is a problem for teachers. Well, sometimes he supervises his kids, but they usually run off, which means he doesn't do much. And this is evident because in Frame on You, he let girl Jordan run around, disguise herself as Rusty, and throw stink bombs all over the class rooms. And of course, Lincoln had to friggin' report on the situation and send her to the principal's office, which is something that the Hoff is supposed to be doing instead of him. Yeah, Lincoln is does a better job at supervising the kids than he does. And we got the fifth rule breaker. Treating students poorly. Oh, and let's not forget that Mr. Bolhofner didn't even catch Chandler sneaking in pudding onto Lincoln's seat, which he should have saw. If that was Jackie Chu would catch him doing that and say, "Chandler, you dumb! Go to principal's office now." Yeah. But we're gonna go back to treating students poorly, because he definitely treats students poorly. Yeah. I know it's fair game to punish your students, but instead of but at least good teachers could let bad students go to the principal's office when they did something bad, because that's just normal school code. When a student does something bad, they let them go to the principal's office. That's just a normal school logic. Not Mr. Bolhofner. When a student does something bad or tries to do something bad, he punishes them in horrible ways. And it's proof that he does that because in Schooled, he forced Lincoln Loud to sit with him eating his leftover meatloaf, or whatever leftovers he has, while Lincoln Loud has to put up with his terrible breath, which is something that goes against school code. You're not supposed to punish your students in horrible ways, because that is just bad discipline. I have no idea who even hired him, but that's not the worst part. Oh no. The worst part is in Frame on You, the same episode, Mr. Bolhofner lets his bobcat run loose in school. Now, to be fair, some teachers do have a classroom pets, like Agnes did with Frank the Tarantula, and that's fine. Frank was caged, and she even let Lincoln take care of Frank, and it resulted in one of the funniest episodes. Along came a sister. And even in real life, when I was in school, my teacher used to have a gerbil, which she used to keep around in the class sometimes, and I always wanted a gerbil for that reason, but I have cats instead of a gerbil. Mom won't let me have a gerbil. Yeah, those animals are caged, but Mr. Bolhofner's bobcat is clearly not caged. And the bobcat is also a wild animal, which is another rule infraction because, well, you're not supposed to have wild animals running around. And also, bobcats try to kill people. I know this is a kid's show, and the bobcat hasn't really tried to kill anyone, but bobcats are wild animals, and they're dangerous to humans, which means that they could potentially kill someone, which means that Mr. Bolhofner is up for a murder charge. Yeah, say what you want about Coach Pikowski trying to beat up Lincoln and Clyde. Mr. Bolhofner has a friggin' murder charge. Yeah, who will want a criminal in the classroom? His bobcat is trying to kill students, and he could be out for murder. He could not only be fired from the school, but he could also be arrested for attempted murder, which is definitely a no-no in school. So, how many rules has Mr. Bolhofner broken? Alright, first one is poor hygiene. Second one is attitude problems. Third one is, well, not being able to supervise your own kids. Fourth one is treating students poorly. Fifth one is not having a caged animal in class. Sixth one is letting an animal loose, especially a wild animal. And seventh one is attempted murder. Oh, and, well, there's another rule he broke. Oh, and let's not forget giving kids F's for no reason. 8 rules that he's broken. 8 rules! That's like an octopus says limbs. That's how many limbs of an octopus there are. He's the octopus. He broke 8 rules in school. And he shouldn't even be a school teacher. With a school teacher breaking this many rules, there's no doubt that Mr. Bolhofner is the worst teacher in the Loud House. And he's also the biggest rule breaker of all the teachers. So yeah, I went over what he did, and what he did was really bad. Lincoln should have been in Mrs. Salter's classroom. So, Mr. Bolhofner, well, he gets an F-. He would get an F-, but giving an F- would be too generous. So I'm giving him this score. And let's hope that the Hoff never gets hired in any school again. Because he is literally banned from all schools. According to how many rules he has broken. So yeah, I thought this video was a great tribute to Bumbles McFumbles, and I actually had fun trying to analyze which teacher broke the most rules. Alright, so to recap, the teachers that have broken the least amount of rules are Coach Niblick and Miss Bernardo. The teacher who has broken the most amount of rules is Mr. Bolhofner. So yeah, I hope this video taught you something. And remember, always brush your teeth. before you go to bed. And always make sure you take a bath or shower, depending on which one you prefer doing. Because that is learning good hygiene. That's your lesson here. So yeah. So this is a full list of which teachers in the Loud House broke the most rules, and a couple of principals. Well, keep in mind, I didn't include every school staff in this video. I left some out. And I'm aware that I left some out. I left out the majority of the Chavez Academy staff, and, well, I'm sure I left some more out. So yeah, not every school staff is featured in this video. But I still wanted to do this list as well. It's a tribute to the videos that Bumbles McFumbles have been doing, and I thought I did a good job, and well, here's the outro to my videos. Batman's arch nemesis is the Joker, but my arch nemesis is the YouTube algorithm. Smaller channels are being attacked and put at risk because of the viewer-based algorithm that YouTube has. And yes, the Racer Simmer Productions YouTube channel will be needing every ounce of support from you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to see when new Racer Simmer Productions videos are being posted. And together, we can help defeat the algorithm and drive it away from the Racer Simmer Productions YouTube channel. And yes, every subscriber count matters, because it means you are really awesome and you support me through the difficult time on being on YouTube. Yeah, it means you really support me during these difficult times. Anyways, I'll catch you guys next time.